Hello again. Today we're going to be discussing two works. The first is Charles Minor's popularization of the Middle English poem Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, which he sort of transformed into modern English and also included more modern concepts in. And the second is Zora Neale Hurston's collection, Mules and Men, of which we read a few selections, which is an effort to sort of collect these oral folk tales, some of which date back to the slave era and even older, around the turn of the century. Now, despite some obvious differences between the two works, we see a lot of similarities. The first one is we see the social function that storytelling performs within the society, which is it helps to bring people together. Both stories involve the idea of people at parties telling stories, telling tall tales, what in Hurston's work are called lies. And these help to sort of bring people together. They're having a good time. They tell each other stories. They tell each other jokes. The second one is the use of irony. Both of these stories involve irony to a certain extent. Now, irony is one of these terms that is very often misunderstood. Irony doesn't mean something happening that you don't want to happen. What irony means is when something happens or when words are used that are the opposite of what you expect. In Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, for instance, we see Gawain challenged to this sort of contest where someone says, if you chop off my head today, I get to chop yours off in a year and a day. Gawain accepts this challenge because he imagines that chopping someone's head off is kind of a final act. And when the Green Knight picks up his own head and says, see you in a year and a day, Gawain is sort of honor-bound to honor his original agreement. In the Flood of Johnstown story that Zora Neale Hurston relates, we see a man go to heaven after drowning in the Johnstown flood and telling his story and kind of getting a mixed reaction. And when he sort of asks around, well, why is this person not really that impressed with my flood story, he finds out that the person he was talking to was Noah. Now, in both of these cases, meaning the use of irony and the use of the sort of fantastic story as a social element, we see these traditions sort of creeping in to fantasy literature in a variety of ways. I would also point out that both of these stories sort of introduce other ideas that will show up in fantasy literature again and again. In particular, I'd point to the quest motif, which we'll see more of next week. Thank you very much. Do the rest of the assignments for this week, and I will talk to you again next week. Thank you.